Cost of living in Destin, Florida. Can you afford it? What does it actually cost to live in Destin? Is it affordable? Is it expensive? And can the average person really afford to live here? Today I'm going to break down the real cost of living in Destin, including home prices, insurance, property taxes, groceries, utilities, and HOA fees. And if you're thinking about relocating to the Emerald Coast, this is something you definitely want to understand before making a move. Home prices in Destin. Well, let's start with the biggest expense for most people, housing. Destin is a beach community, and because of that, real estate prices are generally higher than many other parts of Florida, especially properties that are not coastal. You'll find several different types of properties here, and they include condominiums, townhomes, single-family homes, and luxury waterfront homes. Condominiums can vary widely depending on location and whether they're near the beach. Beachfront condos typically cost more because, well, they're in high demand, especially for vacation rentals and second homes. Single-family homes in Destin also vary quite a bit depending on the neighborhood, proximity to the water, and whether the property is in a gated community. But overall, housing is usually the largest factor in the cost of living here. Insurance costs. Now let's talk about something that surprises a lot of people moving to Florida. That's insurance. Insurance costs in Florida have increased over the past several years, particularly in coastal areas like Destin. Homeowners insurance is something buyers should carefully research before purchasing a property. So if you're buying a condominium, some of the insurance may be covered through the condo association, but you still need to own coverage for the interior of the unit. Insurance costs can vary depending on the age of the property, distance from the beach, construction type, and coverage levels. This is definitely one of the expenses that buyers should factor into their budget. Property taxes. The good news when it comes to Florida is property taxes are generally reasonable compared to many other states. Florida also has something very attractive for homeowners, no state income tax. That's one of the reasons so many people relocate here. Property taxes are based on the assessed value of the property, and if the home is your primary residence, you may qualify for a homestead exemption, which can reduce your taxable value. For many relocation buyers coming from states in the Northeast or Midwest, Florida property taxes are often lower than what they're used to paying. If you're buying a condominium or a home in a planned community, there's a good chance there will be an HOA fees. Condo fees in Destin can vary significantly depending on the building and the amenities. Some association includes things like building insurance, exterior maintenance, pools and fitness center, landscaping, and security. Higher-end buildings with more amenities typically have higher HOA fees. Single-family homes in gated communities may also have HOA fees, but they're usually lower than condo associations. This is another cost buyers should always consider when calculating their total monthly expenses. Utilities in Destin are fairly typical for Florida. Your main costs will usually include electricity, water, internet, and cable. Electric bills can vary depending on the size of the home and how much air conditioning is used during the summer months. Because Destin has warm weather most of the year, air conditioning tends to be one of the larger utility expenses. When it comes to groceries and everyday costs, Destin is fairly similar to many other Florida communities. There are plenty of grocery store options in the area, and while prices can vary depending on where you shop, most residents find that everyday expenses are fairly typical for a coastal Florida town. Because Destin is also a tourist destination, some areas may feel slightly more expensive, especially near the beach or resort areas. But overall, groceries and daily expenses are usually not the biggest factor in the cost of living here. So is Destin expensive? The big question is Destin, Florida expensive to live in? Well, the honest answer is it just depends. Compared to many inland towns, Destin can be more expensive because it's a high demand beach community. But when you compare it to other coastal markets around the country, many buyers actually find Destin to be a relatively reasonable for a beachfront location. Plus, Florida offers some financial advantages like no state income tax, which can make a big difference for many homeowners. So if you're thinking about moving to Destin or buying property here and want to better understand the local real estate market, I'd be happy to help. I'm Keith Bailey, Realtor with Century 21 All Points Realty, and I specialize in the Destin real estate market. If you have questions about property values, neighborhoods, or what it costs to live here, feel free to reach out anytime. And if you enjoy videos about Destin real estate, be sure to subscribe to the channel because I post frequent videos about the local market and what it's like living here on the Emerald Coast. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.